Hi, in this video we are going to discuss how we can read and handle various types of CSV files in Spark. So CSV files, those can be simple, those can be without headers, those can be pipe delimited or with single quote characters. They may have some specific escape characters, or the files may be there with the record in multiple lines. So all these files we will understand how to handle them in Spark. So let's go to Databricks, and to upload any file, first we will need to create something called as volume. So first let's create a new catalog which can be any with any name. Let's say my files. Now within this catalog we will have to create a schema. So let's create a new schema from here. Schema name, it can also be anything. Let's say my schema. And within a schema, we can create a table, a volume, a model, and other things. So to upload any file or access any file, we create volume in Databricks. And name of volume, it can again be anything. Let's say, let's give it a name CSV files. So now our volume is created, and consider this volume as a directory in our Windows or in our laptop. Let's create a new folder here, which can be any name. Let's say my files. And this is where we will upload our files. So using this button, we will be able to upload it. Now let me drag drop all these files over there. And that's it. Our files are uploaded now and available here. Now to access these files, we need to copy its path. So I will click this and copy path from here. Now let's go to the code part. So this is the path I have copied from there. And as we talked previously, so Spark, it has a read library to read any data. And within read, we can have multiple types of files like CSV, JSON, Parquet. We will talk them later on. So to read CSV file, this is how we read it. And then we specify the complete path. So this will read the file, create a data frame. And then that data frame we are going to display so that we can understand what kind of data it contains. Here we can see the output, and as we can see, it has printed the data here, but it has also printed the header also as the data, and column names it has come up with its own like C0, C1. So it knows that it has 6 columns, but it is not able to read the data properly. That we will do with some more options. But this is how like the simplest version of reading the CSV file looks like. And this read.csv, it can be done in another way also. So like read.format also we can provide as CSV, and then put .load. So this becomes more generic, that here it will be load and here it can be CSV, JSON or other formats. But working wise, this is exactly same as the previous one. So here also we can see the same output. It has created the same data frame with all the columns as string, and this is the data we see. So now what we want to solve is this first row here, it shall be considered as a header and these shall be taken as column names. So for that, Spark, it has a option. So how it works is like in between the read.csv, we provide this additional option with .option way, and that is how it will know that this file, it contains header, and those columns itself use as the column names, and these slash, these are like just like the next line in Python. So if I don't have also, it will not make any difference. So if I run this code, now we can see that it is able to use the first row as the column names, and rest of those it is considering that as data. And if I use that next line way, so this is just a better way to organize the code so that we can see the code in multiple lines. It will work exactly same. So now let's say what we want to do is, here we can see that although it has fetched all the column names properly, but still it is fetching all the columns as string. But in the data we can see that it is a number, there are other numbers, there can be other data types also. So how to use the proper data types also along with header? For that there is one more option in Spark, which is called as inferSchema. So it will understand the schema from our file and then decide the data type for each of the column. So this time we can see that this ID, it is considering this as integer, then this is also it is considering as integer. So now along with the column names, it is checking the data types also. So that's how this option of inferSchema, it works along with the header. So this is how we can read a simple CSV file. But in the next scenario, let's say we have this kind of CSV file where only data is coming. Let's say some process is generating the data, so every time they don't need to put the header to save size, or it can be their own property also. So how can we read data like this and providing our own column name and data types? So that part, how it can be done is by providing the schema ourselves. And how we can create schema ourselves is, there are two options. So one option is like a simple one where we can create the schema as the column name, data type, comma, second column name, second data type. As a simple string, we can prepare it. And then in the spark.read, we have this another function called .schema where we can provide this, and it will use this schema to read the file without any headers. Here we can see that it is able to apply this schema and show our schema along with the data that it has read from the CSV files. Let me minimize this left pane here. So next we are going to discuss the second way of providing our own schema. So in the second way, it is more modular and in terms of Python objects. So within PySpark library, we have these data types or these classes for each of the data type. And to create the schema as object, what we need is, first we need to create a struct field for each of the column. Like this is the column name, this is its type, and this type, it is not a normal string like we had it. It is the class of the Python SQL type. And then for each of the column name and type, we create these multiple struct fields, and then we wrap them into a struct type. And this struct type, this is the object which will be passed to Spark as a schema. So this is how we can create the schema in another way. And passing this schema, it is the exact same way. Like with spark.read.schema, we pass this schema this time. We get the same output as previous one. So these are just two different ways to pass the schema. This one, it is a quick way and easy way to provide the schema. And this one, it is more modular and schema is available as a Python objects. So that's the only difference. Next, let's understand another type of CSV file. This time, let's say instead of comma, our file is separated by pipe. So how exactly we can read this is, we have another option in Spark. So first, let's understand if we don't specify, then what happens. So without this option, as we can see, it will consider entire record as a single record, a single column, because it is looking for the comma by default and it is not finding any comma, so it is not breaking it into columns. And that is where if we specify this option, then it will know that delimiter character it has to consider as a separator, and that's how it has to separate out various columns within that file. So that's how we can pass our own custom separator. In the next scenario, let's say our quote character, those are single quote character. So by default, Spark takes a double quote as a quote character, but there can be a different format where our different type of quote character is coming. Like in this case, single quote is coming as the quote character. By quote character, it means like the entire record, if it is wrapped by a specific character, so that will be considered as a single cell, that is called as a quote character. And these quote characters are used to store the data which is longer, like comments or remarks. That kind of data is wrapped in quote characters. So for this scenario also, like you may have already guessed, we have a separate option for this one with the name quote. So first let's understand what is the problem if we don't use and we get this kind of data. In the output, here we can see that the quotes also are coming in the output, which is not the proper way or not the right data. And if we specify this option here, then the data will be coming properly. So this time we can see that those quotes are not coming and only the data part, it is coming properly now. In the next type of CSV file, let's understand what is a escape character and how to handle it. So this is a normal wrapped up data, like it is wrapped in the single quotes, but within the data also there may be a need that the same character is coming. So let's say here this shall be considered as a single entity, but because quote is coming here, it can create a problem. And that is where in these kind of scenarios, it is normal in CSVs to prefix the original quote character with another character that is called as escape character. So in this case, hash is a escape character, and to read the data with these kind of scenarios, there is another option in Spark, and that option it is called as escape option. So same thing, let's understand what happens if we don't have it. In this case, we can see that the quote character is coming in the data, and then the hash, which is the escape character, that is also coming, which is not the right data. So that's where we have to specify this option, and then the data will be coming properly. So now we can see that data is coming properly in this scenario also. In the next type of file, there can be another scenario. Let's say sometimes we may get the data of CSV like this, where the single record it is spread across multiple lines. So let's say it is starting from here and not ending in the same line. And how it shall identifies that using this quote character, it shall be used as a single line. But by default, it will not consider that. And to handle this kind of scenario also, again, we have another option in Spark that is called as multi-line. And if we set it as true, then it will handle it. First, let's see what is the problem we get if we don't have it. So in this case, the record which is coming in the next line, that it is considering as a separate record here. So half of the record is here and rest of it is coming here, and the data it is coming as null. So this is how the data may appear if we don't handle it properly. So in this, we have to specify this option, then it will read the data properly. So now we can see that that entire record, it is coming properly now. So this is how we can handle multi-line CSV files. And these are only some of the options that we have discussed in Spark while reading CSV files. So first what we need to do is, whenever we get a CSV file, we need to open it in Notepad or Notepad++, so that we can understand what is separator, what is quote character, what is escape character, and whether the data is there in multi-line or not. After understanding all these things, then we decide which all options we shall use while reading the data, and then only the data will be coming properly. And never open a CSV file in an Excel to understand these things, because in Excel some of this information will be lost. So be careful about that. And now let's see what other options are there in Spark while reading CSV files. This is the official documentation of reading CSV files. And if we see here, it has so many options. So some of these we tried, like delimiter, the quote character. There are many other options also, like null value, which can be used to specify which word shall be considered as null while reading the data, which file for which text format shall be considered as date format, time format, and then there are many modes. So like that, we have so many options. So whenever we get any problem while reading our CSV files, we shall understand the data properly, then check out which all options are available there, and then we will be able to read the data properly. Otherwise, we may run into problem or end up writing our custom code to handle various things, for which the code may already exist in Spark. So go through all these options and try to understand them. If you have any doubts, then let me know. That's all for now. Bye bye.